Steven Sims, whom they just elevated yesterday from their practice squad, is back deep. And he's going to.
They really know how to simplify and get the quarterback playing fast.
Keenum, quick delivery, near side of the field, and it. So they pick up 6 on first down. Pitch play. This is Devin Singletary.
Of the game.
Dario Ogunbowale comes onto the field. They go misdirection here. This is Sims on a pitch. Echo is out. So they basically have a completely different defensive front, something to keep tabs on. As Cam Johnston on to punt. Mason Kinsey elevated from their practice squad yesterday.
He was at his best. Let's see if he can deliver 2 in a row.
Levis on first down to the air. That's a tough. You see how Brunskill's ankle holds up. 2nd and 7. Here's Henry, who has been today, and they also had to put Javier Thomas on injured reserve. Levis on 3rd and 5. Pocket starts to collapse. Levis, he can run. Lunges for the first down. The football came loose. What's the ruling here? Clear recovery.
Probably for me a little bit early.
Oh, they're going to roll the dice. How about this? Henry stood up initially. So fresh set of downs for Tennessee as they work at their own 27-yard line. On 2nd and 8, play action from Levis. Puts a man under it, fires, and it's caught. Big play, Traylon Burks. To believe their first-round pick a year ago. Levis, the handoff here to Henry.
Defense. That is ridiculous.
That's Tajay Spears in motion. Little misdirection here. Levis trying to get things set up with
all-out pressure with no safeties back.
Little movement pre-snap. Could be a free play. Levis fires down the sideline. High pass. It is caught from Houston's side.
Defense number 98.
9 yards earlier, and this is good for 33.
Well, brilliant use of the hard count, and then this is the flaw. Look at how many of the Texans, they stopped playing up front. And so then they stop playing up front. Levis has all the time in the world. He understands he has a free play, and he throws it up, knowing that nothing could go wrong. And Westbrook-Ikhine.
Whether or not this was a catch by Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, so they'll take a closer look upstairs. We'll step aside on CBS. Place the football down at that 1-yard line. 1st and goal as we cross the 8-minute mark here in Nashville. Henry stood up at the line of scrimmage. That 2nd burst.
Me and Gene, like,
on the same
we
page.
share the same brain, yeah.
Levis keeps it himself, and he bangs it in for Will Levis. Morgan Cox, long snapper. Ty Zenner is the holder, and the point after. Folk has now missed more extra points this season than he has field goals. And so it's 6-0 Tennessee. Short, a little bit of a long kick. Sims going to play it out of his own end zone. Takes on a couple of hard hitting out on their first drive. Again, no C.J. Stroud today. Concussion if you've just joined us. Can Keenum get this offense back on?
Able to improvise and adapt from week to week, but not having those 2 major pieces to the passing game certainly affects the Texans offense. Rushing touchdown.
It's been a good year for that offense. Singletary making some guys
rid of the football and not to second guess. And then his experience to be able to discuss what's happening on the sideline and make real-time adjustments. But anything less than the playoffs would be a disappointment for the Texans.
Keenum from the gun. They protect over the middle.
This defense has come out with the same intensity.
Where Johnston able to get it out. The company begin at the 15-yard line. Handoff here to Spears. Their dynamic
Corner and at safety.
Picked up only a yard on first down, so 2nd and 9. Spears slips a tackle.
Down throwing short of the line to gain, and then Spears doing the rest to get the first down.
He was huge in that game Monday night. Levis back to the air, slings one over the middle. And
the Texans defensive line.
Again, they go misdirection, but they're going to get Spears.
Du jour here since he's been the starter. So far, we haven't seen Hopkins in this game.
It's been Burks.
In my eyes, the best pocket that he has seen so far this year.
On 3rd and 15, they go to the check, just trying to get Spears into some open space. Spears has a marker thrown.
Yeah.
Holding, offense number 16. That penalty's declined. Brings up 4th down.
So Zentner on to punt. Steven Sims. Years in San Francisco with D'Amico Ryans. He's pushed all the right buttons this year, but now with the quarterback change, better things pan out. Pass protect. Attention to detail from the others will put Keenum in a position to succeed. Keenum slings it here, far side.
And so, look, I think Tennessee so far in this game, they've done a pretty good job of heat up, especially Harold Landry.
Keenum on 3rd and 10 to protect him well, and he throws a dart. That's handoff here as they go back.
For whatever quarterback comes into play in their offense.
Well, they're on the move as they play in this 6-point hole. Mike Vrabel's defense looking fierce at the start, and Levis has him in front, up 6 at the end of 1. There's so much that they have at stake in a game that they desperately need. Out of the backfield, it's Singletary trying to...
On the same page and being there
False
for
start.
Stroud to dump off the ball.
Offense number 78.
As the third, now the second receiver to Case Keenum's right.
Keenum looking for a big play. It's picked off. Intercepted. Elijah Molden. And it's going to be a pick 6.
Blind. He doesn't see Singletary. It looks like he's expecting, and that's not Singletary, that's Ogunbowale. It looks like he's expecting him to break to the out.
Pick 6 by Elijah Molden, officially 45 yards on the run back. And that's where we sit, 13-0. Short kick fielded by Sims as he takes over the kickoff return. Blakeman
During the return, holding, receiving team number 47.
is the man for the job this week. Can he bounce back after a rough start to this game?
To kind of ease in Keenum, that they could get this run game going, but so far Tennessee has had none of that.
But they try to set up for the screen pass. What a one-handed catch by Andrew Benton.
And 3rd and 10 and long, or 10 and longer.
Keenum, shadows of his own end zone, slings it, and it is caught.
Huge 3rd and 13.
What a start for Noah Brown. Play action here as Keenum faking the handoff. Keenum running for his life just somehow.
And a big reason why they've been able
Intentional
to play
grounding.
well.
They are going to throw the flag.
Number 18.
Felt like they had a better chance to be in 2nd and medium and stay out of these long yardage situations.
Sim.
He spent that off year, Spiro, studying how do I take my game to the next level.
Well, that studying is paid off. Here's Ogunbowale, a big run. Just trying to get some of it.
Consistency and not take so many negative plays that put them in these long yardage situations.
Kinsey is going to let this one bounce, and it'll take a Houston bounce inside the 10 and all the way outside their own 5-yard line. Levis working under center, give to Henry.
2-3 yards into that defensive side of the ball, then you get to see.
Spears comes onto the field here on 3rd down. What does Tim Kelly dial up here? Levis from the gun, looking, feels the pocket muddy, rolls out. He's going to run. Levis taking on hitters.
First down, and then to add the penalty yardage on top of that, that really got the party started for Tennessee.
Henry on the screen and a negative play, so 2nd and 13.
See Hopkins go to work one-on-one with Stingley.
On 3rd and 7, Levis is lit up. What a fumble recovery last week in that loss to the Jets. Undrafted out of Nebraska. New York gets caught up around the league. Some key scores here in week 15. Big run play as they're going to work Keenum from the gun.
Yeah, good chance here.
First down run. Eric Burmer's a short week for Miami, trying to bounce back from their loss here. Look at Singletary slipping a couple of times. And this one looks like it's coming back.
Holding, offense, number 9.
You had 3 positive runs, number 9. Right there, you see that that left hand. They just haven't been able to get any consistency, and you're not going to be able to have a pass game under these circumstances.
Back to Singletary. And that was Mechie who lost his foot, and Keenum faking the handoff and delivers a strike again.
To pick up a first down after sitting at 1st and 17.
Singletary, good for him each of the last 4 years with Buffalo before coming over in free agency. Little misdirection. Football is loose. Sims, Tennessee for the final 2 minutes. D'Amico Ryan's bunch looking for their first points. Here's Singletary breaking a couple of tackles. Look at Singletary. 4th and 1. Singletary has it.
Runs in a row. The Texans have a chance now to get 7 points.
Keenum feels the pocket start to collapse. Seconds
Fired
left.
the pass, holding, defense number 0.
They call it every time.
We just saw that number 1 scoring red zone defense in the NFL. Keenum Tennessee will have the football, by the way, to begin the second half. Keenum on second down, fires towards the end zone.
Earlier, and still no Dalton Schultz.
Back to the ground game. And week 9, remember, just off IR, he had that quad injury. And he is on and perfect on a 23-yard chip shot field goal to take us to halftime here in Nashville. So much at stake for the Texans, but right now Mike Vrabel's defense and his young quarterback have been the story. 13-3. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local station. Chris Moore is going to watch this one begin here at the 25-yard line. Levis turns, gives to Henry.
To get back to that Tennessee ground and pound behind Derrick Henry.
Sun's starting to peek through the clouds here in Nashville. Levis's pass on second down is caught. Here come the Texans on the blitz. Levis somehow gets it out. They're going to have a chance with a Conklin first down. Of the year with Carolina, cut and claimed off waivers, so this only his 4th game as a member of the Tennessee Titans.
To finish it off.
On 2nd and 9, play action from Levis. Throws across his body, slings one far side, and was that picked? Yes, it was. And delivers for the Texans. Interception gets it to Keenum and their offense as they start at the 40-yard line. Pitch play, Singletary slips a couple with his mates.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Defense number 96. 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Inexcusable interception, but they had Burks wide open down the sideline.
Keenum protected here, goes to Singletary on the check. Singletary has some open.
Closing out some of these close games, and that has to continue today.
On 2nd and 4, Singletary.
The
holding.
Left tackle.
Offense, number 70.
This piece of running by Singletary. Look at this cut. How he sees it to his left. And then the football in this game.
So 2nd and 14 after the penalty. Singletary trying to get some of it back.
They've been able to turn up the dial on offenses.
Keenum under duress, puts it perfect.
It's been able to convert in this game has been impressive.
Keenum over the middle, quick delivery this time. Trying to diagnose that defense. Singletary.
He's been the engine and the key to your offense.
End around play here. This is Hutchinson. Schultz in motion, pitch play here. Singletary looking for a
once inside the 5-yard line.
Number 1 red zone touchdown defense in the NFL. Keenum, the fake, pulls it back. Keenum looking, throws on the run to the end zone, back into the air.
He has to scramble outside the pocket, and then by that time, too many Titans in the red zone forces the field goal.
That's been their calling card this season. So Fairbairn, play made by Steven Nelson. They begin at the 25-yard line. Pitch play here to Henry, 0 yards. That tells you the kind of day it's been against this Houston defense. Levis fires up the seam. Hopkins on the catch.
Houston is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch.
Question of did he survive
After review,
the ground?
Is it an incomplete pass?
As they work back at their 18. Levis feels the pressure again, and Levis is buried. And a monster for opposing offenses to contend with. Punt here from Ty Zentner is fielded by Sims just inside the 40, and Sims has some daylight. At the Tennessee 46 in a 1-score game. Now quickly this game has turned. Keenum off the play action, misfires near side, and there's the flag.
Pass interference, defense number 23. Ball we placed at the spot of the foul, first down.
I think the front has to hold up against this run game.
10-yard penalty. Keenum, this is Woods.
And you can see without Collins, without Dell, they're going to have to do it without their most consistent cornerback on the field in Murphy Bunting.
Boy, did Tunsil move early. Keenum throwing to the run. It's caught.
Offside. Offense, number 85.
To me, that's called a pretty fine.
Completion. And now they're faced with a 3rd and 9 back at the 35. Keenum slings it near side, broke it up.
Well here for Tennessee and makes a big play on 3rd down.
Big kick, 53 yards. And the kick from Fairbairn is perfect. And that's where we sit, 13-9. As we play late stages of this 3rd quarter. Short kick is going to be fielded here by Chris Moore. This offense specifically. Derrick Henry hasn't been his day till this point.
Offense completely one-dimensional by smothering Derrick Henry.
Levis protected well again, and this pass. But now the concern on Okonkwo, their young 2nd-year tight end.
You see, he just kind of falls on that left hip.
Derrick Henry remains the lead back. Can he get something going with this offense? Play action. Levis, they set up Henry for the screen. Levis turns, gives to Henry, and he is stuck. And potentially the last play of the quarter. Levis airs it out near side, and it's broken up.
Linebackers here for the Texans.
So this Tennessee offense has really stalled out. Zentner on the punt. And this one is brilliantly placed inside the 5. Chris Moore does the honors, and Zentner is going to tilt the field back in the Titans' favor. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Your score 13-9. Back to CBS right after this. National CBS crew, happy to have you with us from Nashville. Texans working in the shadows of their own end zone, and it's Singletary chopping those.
Got to try and flip some field position here if you're the Texans being down by 4 points.
Here's Singletary gets
Success going to that left side behind Tunsil.
Singletary.
Right side of that Texans offensive line.
Keenum sacked.
Ended up getting the sack on. Tremendous hustle play by Autry in that game.
Johnston needed a good one here, but 3. And those old Oiler vintage uniforms. Knee injury. 2nd and 7 from the Texans 43. Levis fakes the handoff, pulls it back, and delivers a strike to Hopkins. But we know how resilient they have been since Will Levis took the reins in Week 8. Quick pass here. They get it to Burks.
Quick passes and then that run after the catch to use his size.
Henry desperately trying to get downhill.
Derrick Henry was still able to get around the edge.
Henry still lone setback here on the take. It was
have to try to do it again with a different formula.
Levis, but the football is loose. What's the call here?
Oh, yeah, it looks like he just barely caught his arm. Pressure to try to drive them out of field goal position. Levis is going to have to get the ball out.
Boy, it would be a 51-yard kick from right there as they try to get. Got Folk in the trade at the end of August from New England. He's been a godsend this year for Mike Vrabel. And once again, so a 7-point game with 7 and change left in regulation. Short kick is going to be fielded by Sims. Gets out across the 20.
Are going to have to be at their best on this drive.
They begin at the 21. Keenum under duress.
And affect the throwing of Case Keenum.
Remember, they just signed Coburn on Wednesday. That pass is caught.
Really was excellent.
So we move inside the 7-minute mark. And what is plays Cleveland next week, where things are about to get real interesting down the stretch in the AFC. Here's another pass.
And it happened, but on the last 2 plays, it's been a great connection.
Here's Noah Brown on another catch.
Love how Noah Brown came to play today.
5:32 left. Keenum, that pass a little bit low for Hutchinson, and there's the flag.
Avery was just making a break on the ball. And maybe they see the left hand around the back.
Pass interference, defense, number 23. Ball.
And I think that's a bad break for Avery.
So Houston let you ponder.
Yeah.
Keenum, little misdirection, looking. Everyone's covered. Keenum throws back foot, and that one is snatched.
No way.
Unbelievable. Creary headed for the pick. Schultz snatches it back.
McCreary had this was interception. How does Schultz take this away? Was the game. McCurry has his ball in his hand. How does Dalton Schultz take that football away?
Houston today, they've had to settle for field goals. They're going for broke right here. Singletary. The Houston Texans on 3rd and goal. Keenum towards the end zone. It's caught. Noah Brown. Touchdown. But how about Case Keenum, March? You know, the psychology of a quarterback, the early pick 6, but he has slowly gotten comfortable. Big play here to buy himself some time, and they never look back.
The play of the season for the Texans by Dalton Schultz. This is just improvising. You saw Noah Brown do to a set they really haven't shown playing with a fullback.
Little misdirection, bit of a gadget play here to Burks, trying to get him into some open.
Levis.
Derrick Henry lines up, split out, bottom of your picture. Levis protected here, puts some air under it. Levis down the middle, and it's broken up.
And plays the football. Excellent play.
That was pretty impressive from Stingley. Levis on 3rd and 8. They protect him again, and he delivers a strike.
Their alignment and what they're supposed to do. A lot of people looking around.
Little wildcat, direct snap to head in the postgame show. There's DeAndre Hopkins, top of your picture. On 2nd down, Levis. Levis on 3rd and 6. Little sidearm delivery, incomplete.
I'm surprised that Hopkins, it looks like he felt it.
And boy, Houston's defense again does its job as they're going to get the ball back to Case Keenum.
Right, hit some great timing throws to Dalton Schultz, and then the big one to Noah Brown at the end.
Boy, how big has Singletary been? Shot out of a cannon
to break into that secondary.
Singletary, 6th career game over the center.
30 yards of grass here that they can't allow Houston.
False start. Offense number 67.
Of 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down in long situations.
Keenum on 2nd and 15, trying to get some of it back. That one.
He ran the route for Hutchinson, ran the route, undercut it, played it perfectly. Well, that was a good play. Turnover is catastrophic. A punt, you still got a shot at overtime.
Keenum taking a shot far side, and it's incomplete. Now Will Levis is going to get another shot with under a minute left here in Nashville. Johnston trying to get a good one off here. This one a little bit short, really short actually. Fielded by Kinsey outside the 20. No way. Incredulous look, potential late hit. Boy, he was out.
A monster.
So Will Levis and the Titans, short week after their stunner Monday night in Miami. Trying to get one here at home. Levis taking a shot down the sideline. It's broken up.
Just get tangled up. It looks like Moore has a step. They just get tangled up. Petrie almost gets the interception. And really, remember earlier in the game, they took the shot to DeAndre.
37 seconds left. Tennessee working with all 3 timeouts. Levis is buried. Given that 2-year extension in the offseason, massive play for the Texans. This is Spears. Got a chance. Down to 27 seconds. Zentner on the punt. And boy, he gets a beauty. It's fielded by Sims just outside the 10. Dances across the 25. Sims, what a return. Bairn, who's been really good so far today. Keenum, 1st down pass. That is, let's see what they rule here. They say it's a completion
here because you don't have time to run up and spike the football.
Alshire was right there.
Not let them catch a 15-yard pass on the sideline.
Keenum, boy, he's going to throw over the middle, and it's in towards the end zone. Mills steps up, will even get it off.
Cover the ball,
running
cover
for
the
his
ball.
life. Boy, he's able to cover it up.
His heads, the T side is tails. Houston, you're the visiting team. It is your choice. Tails is the call. It is heads. Let's see. Which way you want to kick?
In the extra period. 2 timeouts aside, every replay initiated upstairs. Levis will begin from the gun. Looking, goes through his reads, and he is buried again.
Got to protect their edges and give Levis time.
Haven't been able to do that. As you see Grenard's incredible number.
One situations in this game situation.
Levis buys himself some
Oh
time.
my-
Dangerous pass. It's snatched out of the air by Chris Moore. Holy smokes. They pick up 23. Had it
Here, this, you know what? In my day, they used to call it Moss, but now the kids, an incredible catch.
Again, last year with the Texans, as Henry is 7th carry of the day for Henry for negative yards on the day. And Levis
Can use his big arm and let those routes develop downfield.
Levis on 3rd and 20 puts some air under it, looking for Hopkins, and it's broken up. No flags for Houston.
Both of these corners, whether it's Stingley or Nelson, I thought there was a case for offensive pass interference, if anything.
Their phenomenal rookie up front. Just can't say enough about this Houston defense. 7th. Just wonder how they're even in this position to win. Keenan, and he's running for his life.
Entire game. 2nd and long. He's been in this all game.
Just elevated from their practice run again for a 2nd straight week, and now Singletary.
Single yard counts, and a field goal wins the game for Tennessee.
Nashville crowd at full throat. Keenan pulls it back, and he's got
Huge.
And remember, almost a completely makeshift defensive line. No Simmons, Tart released this week, no Pecco. They needed a huge game from Autry, and he's delivered.
During the kick, holding receiving team number 47. 10-yard penalty for the end of the kick. First down.
They've had a huge impact in the way they played.
Levis play action, pulls it back. Levis gonna run. Well, it takes off.
Well, listen. He couldn't throw the ball. It's the 4-man rush.
Levis hands off here to Spears on 2nd and 1.
Underneath in that throwing window.
D'Amico's called all the right plays with his defense. Can they hold here? Levis.
And so he has the feeling of making those plays that he needs to make in order to win the game.
Back to the ground game.
Their best connection has been to Chris Moore today for Will Levis.
Levis is thrown for just under 200 yards. Here they come again, and they get to Levis again. 9 left. And this thing has been like a hot potato. Neither of these offenses can get anything going down the stretch. Fair catch signaled here by Stevens.
Offensive line. Right now, his offensive line is worn out.
Keenum again feels the pressure, buys some time, and he puts a perfect pass into the hands of Singletary, who's off and running.
And then Keenum on the run finds him.
Singletary. And now ball security is so huge for Houston. Singletary slips the initial tackle. Singletary is going to score.
That's poetic.
Devin Singletary stops the show with a jaw dropper. This coming back.
Holding. Offense. Number 8.
Valid call.
Boy, that knocks him back. Would be a much tougher kick from here. John Weeks, the snapper. Cam Johnston, the holder. Fairbairn's kick is good. And the Texans win it here in Nashville.